Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena and back to some more Standard 2022, my favourite format at the moment. Today we're going to be checking out a control list that's been doing the rounds. I actually don't know who the original creator of this one was, or if it just cropped up out of nowhere. We're going to be playing some Mono Black Control. And this one is very exciting to me because it lets me play some Planeswalkers I haven't really played at all much in any format, really. So that's going to be Lolth from the new D&D set, 5 mana, 4 loyalty Planeswalker, with a passive that says whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on Lolth, Spider Queen. You can pay 0 to draw a card and lose 1 life, so it's a Planeswalker that provides card advantage and effectively replaces itself. Awesome, great. And then -3, create 2/1 spider creature tokens with Menace and Reach, and then if you can kill enough creatures, then you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. So it basically gives you creatures power 8 in a nutshell, as long as they get in some combat damage. Pretty cool. Allows you to finish off the game pretty quickly that way as well. And we have a lot of creatures that we can kill, but we'll get to that in a bit. We also have Professor Onyx as well, a 6 mana, 5 loyalty Planeswalker. This one has Magecraft, which plays into our control shell quite a fair bit. It says whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it allows us to stabilize in the late game, killing creatures, drawing cards, and also gaining us life. And all of those things are pretty insane. And then the -8 is, what's the name of that card now? I can't remember. Each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life, and you do this 6 or more times. Probably will close out the game. Probably unlikely to happen in most occasions, though, because the +1's really good. And then the -3 allows you to continue plussing 1 by killing your opponent's creatures. So let's talk about our creature package, because this is a little bit of an unorthodox control deck in that it actually has quite a fair few creatures in addition to its board wipes. We have a copy of Crippling Fear and Blood on the Snow. I might actually want 2 Crippling Fears and a 1 less power word kill, since this doesn't hit Angels and Dragons, which is kind of a relevant tribe right now. But I actually don't have 2 Crippling Fears in my collection, and with Jumpstart Historic Horizons, whatever it's called, coming up, I don't really want to spend my ICR, so we're going to go for 1 Crippling Fear, even though it probably should be 2. But we have 4 Blood on the Snows anyway, which destroys all creatures or destroys all Planeswalkers. And then you get to reanimate a creature or Planeswalker with mana value X or less, where X is the amount of snow spent to cast this spell. So up to 6 snow mana spent on this can get back our Planeswalkers, which is why we've only got 5 of them in the deck. Because we can just get them back repeatedly, as well as blowing up the board, which is something we probably want to be doing anyway. So let's talk about the creature package, shall we? We've got Eyetwitch, 1 mana, 1/1 with flying. Whenever it dies, you learn. We also have Shambling Ghast, 1 mana, 1/1. When it dies, you get to choose either -1/-1 to our opponent's creature, so it can get rid of 2/2s, which is kind of nice, or it makes a treasure token, which allows us to ramp into our late game. Skullport Merchant is a 3 mana 1/4. When it enters the battlefield, it creates a treasure token, so it's basically a 2 mana 1/4 in a nutshell. So great blocker. And then it can also pay 2 to sacrifice another creature or a treasure and draw a card. So we can use these Shambling Ghasts and these Eyetwitches and use their death triggers to our advantage without having our opponent being the one that has to trigger them ourselves. And it's pretty good that way, so there's kind of a form of card advantage there. As far as our learn cards are concerned, that's where the rest of our kind of win cons come into play. We've got 3 mascot exhibitions. Might want to be 4, but I'm forfeiting 1 for a pest summoning in the early game to allow us to hopefully stabilize a little bit against aggro, since we don't have 2 Crippling Fears. I think having 2 1/1s for 3 that gains us life when they die might be a pretty good idea. But maybe you actually want to go for 4 mascot exhibitions. These are a really solid win con. For 7 mana, you create a 2/1, a 3/2, and a 4/4. And those can help you close out the game. There are also drain triggers off of Professor Onyx, as well as other things. But early game, you're probably going to be grabbing Environmental Sciences, which allows you to make your land drops. Again, allowing you to get to your late game cards, as well as Blood on the Snow, grabbing snow-covered swamps that way. We do have a couple of ways of also learning. I guess we also have some hunt for specimens. This is an honorary creature, I suppose. It's a sorcery that triggers off the Magecraft for Professor Onyx, but it also makes a 1/1, which you can use then to sack to your Skullport Merchants or even your Deadly Disputes. And you also get to learn, so you get to go into the sideboard, grab those sciences to make sure you hit your land drops on time, which is really important for a control deck, of course, and do things like that. Yeah, Deadly Dispute is kind of our village rights for the deck. It will leave us with a treasure token, so it kind of does double duty if we've got something like Skullport Merchant, or if we're ramping into our top end again. We got Flunk, which is probably, weirdly, one of the better removal spells in the format right now. It's 2 mana, to give -X until the end of the turn, where X is 7 minus the number of cards in that creature's controller's hand. So if this card is relevant, it's because it's against a creature deck, and creature decks in this format tend to want to dump their hand like crazy. If they don't want to dump their hand like crazy, then they're probably dragons, and in which case Soul Shatter is very good. 3 mana instant to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker with the highest mana value among creatures or planeswalkers they control. So it allows us to get rid of Goldspan dragons without targeting them, or Imerith, I think it's called, without having to deal with the ward 4 there as well. And yeah, I think that's essentially as much as I need to talk about as far as the deck's concerned. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, on the play, we've got an Eye-Witch, we got a way to kill it if we choose, and draw of course, and then something to ramp as well. So yep, absolutely keeping this one. Also got a Flunk as well, 7 minus the number of cards in their hand. They've got a nice dragon sleeve as well, so could be Dargans. I don't know how we fare against that kind of deck. Got a lot of removal, got a lot of reach creatures and flying creatures, so we could certainly block Goldspan dragons and things. We obviously have the Soul Shatter as well, which is really good against their Imerith and Goldspan dragon, because you don't really target it, so you don't have to deal with the ward or the treasure generation there. And yeah, Lolth as well, blocks Goldspan dragons with the minus, so that's pretty good. Alright, so turn 1, Eye-Witch. Not just going to immediately kill it with a Deadly Dispute, I don't think. We can get in certainly a little bit of damage first. Leather Armor. That's pretty good against Shambling Ghast, which we just drew. Kind of annoying, but is what it is, I suppose. We're going to go with a Shambling Ghast here, I think. Because I doubt we can kill anything with a Flunk. They're going to have to play more cards in order for that to do anything relevant. So get him for 2. And now what we could do is Deadly Dispute the Shambling Ghast. That would give us 3 mana to play with and some extra cards. I could play maybe a Skullport Merchant off of that. Or draw some removal. I could also just wait and then maybe use the -1/-1 there. It's probably worthwhile, especially considering they've got a leather armor here they might want to equip to something. So this is equip only once each turn. So they have 5 cards, so this is a -2/-2. I think I'm going to go for the Deadly Dispute. Create the treasure and just try and draw an answer. Didn't get it, unfortunately. But it's not the end of the world, because now we get to drop down Professor Onyx as kind of a backup plan instead. They get to draw, right? Whenever you... Oh, no, it's when you attack. Okay. So, let's get down an Onyx. Opponent's going to be so far behind at this point. Get in for 1. I don't imagine there's a hasty creature I have to care about, but maybe that was a greedy 1 point of damage. I guess there is the 1 mana goblin. I think that gains haste when it's equipped. But it would only be attacking for 1, so I'd be okay there. Another Akiri, okay. Yeah, Fireblade Charge is the card I'm thinking of. And they're going to equip to the Charger so they can attack my Onyx here. Sure. Alright, so we do have the active Flunk, which is nice. We're going to go after Akiri with that, I think. Eye Witch is totally fine. Guess we'll play the Faceless Haven as a blocking threat. Although, to be honest, I think I'm pretty much always just going to kill the Akiri here. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to do that now. Gain a little bit of life. And pass the turn. Snarl reveals a mountain. I personally wouldn't have revealed that mountain because I think it's not a great idea to tell me that you haven't really got much to do. So here I'm just going to chump. It's one of the real upsides of having Eye Witch in your deck. I couldn't care less about killing the Charger right now, and in fact I'm just going to go Deadly Dispute, sack my blocker, drain our opponent down to 12, and we'll be at 6 mana next turn. I could just go for the Mascot Exhibition. Yeah, I don't really care too much about my opponent's board state, and can draw into plenty more answers that make me not have to care about the Charger here. So let's draw down to 22. Blood on the Snow is probably a decent answer here. Could also just go for the Hunt for Specimens, gets another Mascot Exhibition. I actually like that a little bit more. When you see your opponent dumping board wipes into the graveyard, you're in a world of hurt, I would say. Mascot Exhibition. Let's go Merchant. Might as well pass the turn. We're going to kill our opponent on Onyx Drain triggers here, no doubt. And we're going to be playing Mascot Exhibitions for the next 3 turns. So our opponent's in a lot of trouble. Unless they can give like Trample to this Fireblade Charger, we've got absolutely nothing to worry about. Yep, send it. I will get my other Mascot Exhibition. And as we said, like, the Professor Onyx here is just going to carry us with the Drain trigger alone. Lolth. Alright, so, yeah, let's just go Exhibition. Drain our opponent for 2. Get a board state to be proud of. Another Lolth. Don't really care about. Don't really care about the land either. Let's just take a Deadly Dispute then.
There's gotta be something useful.
And pass the turn. I wouldn't be surprised if they move one of the equipments over to Brunar, maybe. That would give double strike to it, right? Actually, it's warriors, not equipped creatures. But now you're a warrior, so makes sense. So, we're going to block that, going to block that. In the least relevant way possible. There we go. Guess I could leave my 2/2 around so I could swing over the top. I'm just not that concerned, to be honest. I think this game is hilariously in our favor. We're at 26. Our opponent can't push through our board state quick enough. So that last card has to be really good here. And I can't imagine that it is unless they had double strike and... Oh, sorry, trample, and they would have used it already. The Liliana's going to minus. Now it isn't, right? Greatest power, yeah. That was a smart move by them to make it less threatening. What about just a Lolth here? Quite like that. Let's tick up. Blood on the Snow. That one I could take. Although if I take the Shambling Ghast here, then I threaten to kill the core Blade Master on the first double strike thing, so I cut out some of their additional combat. So we play a Shambling Ghast. Play a Lolth. This also lets me hold up and Deadly Dispute as well, so I can do some blocking and sacking. Let's make some menace creatures.
My power is for annihilation.
And I suppose we can swing in like this. Actually, if I swung in with the Merchant, I would have forced a block. Got Den of the Bugbear. I didn't spot that, actually. But this is just wonderful. Totally fine with this. A land I didn't know was there is now off the board and no longer there. So yeah, they've essentially got to kill me now because I have lethal already in my hand. In fact, to be honest, I don't know why I'm not just killing them now. So it's a bit BM for me to wait on this. -1 here.
A gift in exchange for loyalty.
And a drain trigger here. Dead? Yeah. Bit BM for me to not go straight for that slow rolling a win con that I had in my hand already, but oh well. I didn't notice properly. But yeah, pretty dominant force there. And on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play, and this hand looks pretty good. We can lose an Eye Witch to get a land drop, we can Shambling Ghast to get a treasure. All of that leads towards a Crippling Fear or a Soul Shatter, depending on which matchup's good. Let's just go with the Shambling Ghast. I don't mind getting the treasure if they just kill it immediately, and it's a reasonable threat. Pre-combat creature, definitely not a bad habit at all. Black-white. Okay. Swing for 2. Yeah, this is his Planeswalkers. So we might be up against black-white control, and if we are, then we have to worry about, like, Kaya, but Soul Shatter will deal with that quite nicely. Righteous Valkyrie. Actually, it's going to be like a Cleric's list. Definitely just going to get rid of the Valkyrie there. What do you take? 4 total. So can't quite get that at the moment. Hit you for 2. Okay, clerics or angels. Gonna be clerics if you're playing Professor, I would say. And environmental sciences. Yeah. Soul Mender. So I could Crippling Fear here. If I don't name Cleric, then I name one of my, like, either Zombie or Eye. It's all dependent on how much I actually care about this board state. And right now, I think I'd much rather just hold up and Soul Shatter. So let's get him for 1, because this Shambling Ghast can kill both creatures if they attack. And there's an Aura. It's kind of annoying, actually. Whenever it or another Cleric dies, they get back the Righteous Valkyrie. So if I Soul Shattered, they'd get back the Valkyrie, and then I would have to probably Crippling Fear at that point to get rid of the rest of the board. I think I kind of have to just do that. At least they don't get anything off the ETB here. I mean, yep. Take that. We just go for the treasure here, because we might just get a blood on the snow instead. Swing in for one. If they block, I get crippling fear. And then we want to ramp up to blood on the snow. So let's take an environmental sciences. And then we will name homunculus. There we go. Fantastic. Environmental sciences. Puts them up to 5 mana, 3 total for this turn. Get some a righteous Valkyrie. So I think we're just gonna go. I think we're doing Deadly Dispute first. Sack the treasure. I was hoping for maybe another Soul Shatter. I think Power Word Kill takes out angels, right? Oh no, maybe it's not. No. I can't quite remember. Either way, I think we'll just hold on to the environmental sciences for now. It's an Eye Witch. Sure, we'll play that. I guess me a mascot exhibition. Drana, Vampire Cleric. Very nice. Do I want to just take this block now? I think I do, because I have blood on the snow. And it seems like a pretty easy blood on the snow to me. Yeah, start taking out mascot exhibitions, getting our win cons around and in play. So now destroy all creatures. And let's get back an Eye Witch. So yeah, Dryanar gets back non-legendaries, so it's kind of important to kill it. And get in with the Eye Witch here. So if they block, I can get it with a flunk. Chose not to, though. So I'm going to go Deadly Dispute here, because if I don't draw removal... Yeah, I don't think I care too much about the Drana as of yet. I could Blood on the Snow to kill it again, but I could hit a creature that they play, plus just get the reanimated card anyway. Or if they play some pre-combat stuff, I could get it with Flunk. So let's just thin the deck. And pass the turn. So it's a -2/-2 right now. So if they played land creature, it's dead. So I can punish the pre-combat plays. Not going to go for it, though. So, you can have a Soul Mender. I forgot that I get to choose. It's not so bad when I get to choose. I did build a Drana Brawl deck at one point, but that was kind of one of the downsides, is your opponent has all the decisions to make. So here we flunk the Aura, because we're going to do the same thing we did last time, which is let them... I shouldn't have done it in this order. I should have let the Soul Mender resolve, because now they get Righteous Valkyrie. You can gain 1. Yeah. Silly 1 point there that shouldn't have happened, but... See if I can get 1 point in. I'm going to blow up this board, though. Cool. And, yep. Destroy all creatures. And... I guess we'll get back the Eye Witch. get a... At this point, I think just a necrotic fumes, so that we have that option available to us. And let's go Skullport Merchant. Pass, save the treasure for card draw. We do need to find a win con that's a little better than a Mascot Exhibition here, because our opponent is certainly keeping up with the card advantage. Another Drana. Damn. Alright. Sack Eye Witch. Grab Mascot Exhibition. Draw Professor Onyx. That's the card that we were looking for. Any removal would have been fine, but Onyx is honestly up there with the best ones, because obviously we get to leave behind a Planeswalker. Let's get our Hive down. Swing for one. Save the treasure for the Skullport Merchant, rather than use it to play an Eye Witch. Now I would say we're in a really nice position. They've got a Cleric class. Not much I can do about that. I don't think we have any kind of answers to it, honestly, but shouldn't need to. It's very reliant on creatures.
There has to be an answer here.
Let's just drop down the Lolth here. Make some tokens.
Do what I demand.
I'm gonna start eating their graveyard with the Hive as well. Let's see. So this can get a creature. Well, you can just get just about anything, really. There's not particularly anything I can hit here that stops them from getting it, because they've got 2 ofs of everything that's relevant. So I'll just go after the Aura, because that one reanimates another creature on its own as well. But we're pretty close to just kind of finishing this game off anyway. We can lose our Onyx if we choose to get rid of a single creature here, and then push through with double Hive. Then we can start eating relevant creatures. So they're going to go with probably an Aura or a Drana. Yep, going to go with an Aura. So I'm going to... It's tough to say what I'm going to do here. Lesser mana value, so they can get the Righteous Valkyries. I can't stop them from getting the Righteous Valkyries, I don't think, because I don't have the mana to do double Hive attack plus Soul Shatter, which is what would be required to do that line of play. Let's draw.
My children will take care of you.
Let's draw. This does take Angels. Alright, so this is going to be our best use, I guess, of Power Word Kill here. Drain you, they get a Righteous Valkyrie or a Soul Mender, or I guess a Professor as well. But they've always gone for the Valkyrie whenever offered. I think we're then going to Soul Shatter the Valkyrie, drain you. Activate the Hive. I think the best way that we're going to stay in this game is by constantly attacking their graveyard here. Yeah, I think they know it. Their Cleric class has done its thing. These 4 cards have to be relevant, and I think they're just about done constantly reanimating creatures here. So we had 1 Hive going through, so again, we can't really stop the Righteous Valkyries, but this time we can get the Aura, and then that's a card that we don't ever have to worry about until they play one from hand. And then the following attack we do like double Hive, get rid of Righteous Valkyries, and then that'll do the job just fine. But they're almost certainly just dead from that point anyway, because we've got a pretty hefty attack here. And then we can follow up with some pretty hefty attacking creatures to follow up with after that as well. Drawing 3 cards a turn, technically, with our double Planeswalkers. It's an impossible situation for them, I think. And even though they can gain a fair bit of life, It's definitely not enough life to be gained off of against a deck like this, so pretty good. Alright, on the play, double Iwitch and a Lolth. No removal is a little bit sad, but this hand will work itself out. Iwitch is actually a pretty good card, as it turns out. So we're going to keep this. It's also a little bit of beatdown along the way. Yeah, it looks like we're up against a mirror match of sorts here, so don't know how this one's going to go, honestly. If I attack, I give them first opportunity to use their lesson card, so I'm not going to swing into their Iwitch so that they can use the environmental sciences. They might even require it, so... Elder Fang Disciple. Each opponent discards a card. Let's get rid of the Swamp. Play the Faceless Haven so we can maybe attack with it. If I swung here, I would get to use my lesson card, which is really just going to probably just be an environmental sciences. They'll just pass again. I'm in no rush to throw these away. Yeah, I don't know how the mirror really goes, to be honest. Rogue and Cleric, so they get to take my Lolth, or a land drop. I'm not going to show them the board wipe, because the board wipe can get back my Lolth. I might have even been tempted if I were them to take my land drop, honestly. It's as weird as it might sound, like, mana screwing me. It's a pretty decent strategy. They are far behind on their land drops right now. This is where they really want to... Ooh, okay. This is really where they really want to lose their Iwitch, so they can make their land drop, but we're not offering that to them. Goodbye, Blood on the Snow. We've got card advantage now. We don't have to trade into their Iwitch to make our Iwitch do its thing. So, yeah, I think we're in a really nice position here. Do we want to sack now? I don't think so. No. Just do some end-step sacking. This is a board state that's stopping our opponent from really attacking into us, as it were. The 1-2s, though, are weirdly problematic. Alright, so they're going to go after my Skullport Merchant. I think I'll sack a treasure. Drew a land. I think I'm just going to sack an Iwitch as well. It allows them to attack through. But I'm kind of far ahead now to the point where if I start dropping down mascot exhibitions, then I'm in a really good spot. Could also just go for the environmental sciences, which gets me towards Blood on the Snow and Professor Onyx's as well, but I guess we're already there. Yeah, I think I'll just take the mascot exhibition. Hunt for specimens isn't bad. So I can trade a Disciple. I'm not going to trade the Iwitch. I want to keep them RNGing into their land drops. They can hit me for 2 here. Oh, technically it's probably just hitting me for 1. Oh, I'll take the trade here. That's nice. Wasn't expecting our opponent to be a generous individual. Mascot Exhibition. Got a Hive. 4, 5. Yeah, so we play this. We play Hunt for Specimens. And then maybe just Pest Summoning for now. We've got the Mascot Exhibition mana, so yeah, let's just make some 1/1s. Can double block acquisitions experts now. It's So it's trading 1-1s for 1-2s. They finally found... Ooh, they've got an Inscription of Ruin, okay. Yep. Double block. Deadly Dispute. So I do actually get to attack him for 1 here. And I'll sack whichever one of the Eye Witch blocks. Nice options. Highest mana value, so that can get rid of an Acquisitions Expert. But so can the Faceless Haven, so yeah, just pass. They found a land, and they've got another Eye Witch. I must really regret putting all of this discard into their deck instead of card draw like I have. Certainly not doing them any favors right now. Let's go Onyx. They could untap with Soul Shatter or have anything like that. But I'm going to replace the card. Crippling Fear or a land drop. 4, 5, 6. I like the idea of a land drop, actually. It opens up Flunk as a spell I could use. So if they played like land and then got in with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant, I could kill it. Otherwise, they're opening up potential attacks with a double Eye Witch attack. Just getting in with everyone. Yeah, I think I'll take this. Drain you for 2. Soul Shatter is unfortunately not very good against Hive of the Eye Tyrant, but Faceless Haven and Hive is. So I still have options. Right. Tick up. That's just another Faceless Haven.
I have impeccable study habits.
I could go after their graveyard, because if they do have Blood on the Snow, then it's a thing that I might want to do. I guess this also gives me Menace as well. Let's eat some Acquisitions Experts. I'll play Faceless Haven, hold up Soul Shatter at that point. You got me? Alright. I have been had. No attacks, play Faceless Haven. Soul Shatter unfortunately hits Eye Witches instead of the Hive, but now it hits Skullport Merchants, that's pretty good. Let's do that now. Before they get the treasure that they can sack in response. I'm probably going to go after the Eye Witch anyway, but that keeps Liliana definitely on board for a while. Yeah. So, Environmental Sciences finally gets them to the landfall target that they're at, and now I'm not too afraid to trade with Eye Witches. Soul Shatter or another land. Take Soul Shatter.
There has to be an answer here.
Let's play Hive so we can eat their graveyard later. I just play Mascot Exhibition. If they've got Blood on the Snow, then they're gonna use it. I need to start trying to close this game out. Give them removal? No, I don't think I will. They can get Necrotic Fumes, which hits Planeswalkers, I believe. Yeah. So I'd rather them just hit Onyx for 1 here.
To the detention bog.
Make them draw the sacrifice outlet for the eye twitch. Did have a blood on the snow. Alright, so they get back the merchant, presumably. They only spent 3 snow on it, so... Acquisitions expert, you can help yourself to my snow-covered swamp. Didn't really seem like the best creature you could have taken personally, but... I am in the driver's seat, so I'm less panicky. Alright, so Liliana is now dead. But I get to draw a card off of her, and then draw a card when they spend 5 mana. So I could probably just grab another Professor Onyx here. That seems pretty good. Then we'll go... Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Swing, eat their Skullport Merchant. Card that I feel like they personally should have gone for. And I'll play an Eye Twitch. Can't threaten a kill on Onyx. Not firing off their introduction. That's interesting. Another Skullport Merchant. Alright. I can kill that with a Soul Shatter. Not even attacking with the Acquisitions expert. Alright. Tick up. Blood on the Snow of my own. I have a backup Professor Onyx and their board state doesn't scare me. This is the first Blood on the Snow we've seen so far. Second. So there's 2 more in the deck if I dump this one. I think I'll take the card advantage, honestly.
There has to be an answer here.
Swing for 1. Wonder what they think I'm going to actually draw that's better than a Professor Onyx. Bit of this. Bit of that. Drain you. Goodbye, merchant. So they can sack their acquisitions expert in response to draw a card. Makes sense to me if they have blood on the snow. So I'm going to hold up and merchant here so that I can sack the Eye Witch to draw a card. When does Lily ult? At 8. So they do have to fire it off or threaten her. They have a Hive, which has Menace. Skullport Merchant makes a treasure. And then that's all the mana for the Annihilation. Sweet, so we get to draw a card and then replace our Onyx. I'm going to get rid of my treasure then, actually, if they're not going to blow up the board.
So much for a new start.
So we really just want to see a Lolth, I think. Ready for Feels Bad moment? Good old Feels Bads. We get a Flunk. Or I could just take another Professor Onyx. Honestly, I think I need my big old threat.
Never thought I'd miss the library.
Get in for 1. play double gassed. And then we've got a really nice attacking force coming through. We can minus to get rid of the Skullport Merchant, so there's less blockers to concern ourselves with. Blood on the Snow, destroy all Planeswalkers. Gets an Eye Witch. Yep, that's why I took the Professor Onyx, because I figured they'd probably have another board wipe. Ooh, we have a Lolth. Greatest Power. So if it's equal, they get to choose. So this is basically just going to get rid of an Eye Witch. In which case... Let me see. Do we have... Attack with that. That would give me 4 mana remaining. I think it's just double Faceless Haven. Actually, no, because we can't with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. But I get to play Lolth post-combat. If they don't kill my Faceless Haven. So, easy block for them. If they kill any of my Shambling Gas, I get a treasure as well. Oh, I should have maybe sacked Shambling Gas there. I clicked through it too fast to figure out. Do I want to do that? 1, 2. That would leave me with 1, 2, 3. I guess I could play Merchant Gassed at that point. If I sack here. Which I'm fine with. Yeah, treasure. Deadly Dispute. Taking 3. Get a Mascot Exhibition to start building their board state up, but they're at 5, so Professor Onyx is kind of going to get them pretty badly here. Then we play the Merchant. Play a Ghast. Uses a treasure, but if it dies, it makes a treasure. Otherwise, it's just another attacking threat on the board. And yeah, this is going to probably come down to lots of chump blocks there. So 1, 2, 3. Activate. Well, waste of mana. Oops. Send it. Taking a lot. Let's put some dead to Professor Onyx plus Deadly Dispute. But I should have had more mana to play with here, and as a sad reality. So tap, tap, you, sack you. Get a Hive. They lose their board, they're at 4. I'll go treasure, treasure. Get a Mascot Exhibition. And yeah, should have the game closed up now. Unless they can gain life, so they'd have to have an Onyx of their own and then play some spells, but they're just going to go for the Mascot Exhibition instead. And that should be it. Acquisitions Expert gets to look at my Lolth, which will have no impact on my win here whatsoever. So you get to have a look at a Planeswalker. Imagine having 4 cards in hand and the card I choose to show you is a Planeswalker. Some pretty scary stuff there. Alright, land. Onyx. Dispute. Sack Eye Witch. It's not going to matter either way. Opponent's just dead to drain triggers here. Exhibition. And Dispute again. Boop. GG. Sweet. Yeah, so it's a pretty good lesson about control mirrors here. If your opponent is struggling with mana, you're gonna have to try and let them stay that way for as long as possible. Don't play into their board state where they get to potentially not discard to hand size. So if they're stuck on 2 and they're drawing and discarding, all the while you're making land drops, you're actually just getting so much advantage that you don't really want to play your creatures to get too aggressive with them, because then you open up an opportunity for them to use their negates or their removal spells in any case, and then they're not discarding to hand size, and that gives them a lot more advantage that way. So we definitely took advantage of that, not killing their eye witches and forfeiting essentially like a couple points of damage in the long run there. But it sure as hell paid off, and our opponent just couldn't really get ahead of us here. They had some blood on the snows, but they never drew any of their walkers. They had some discard, which certainly helps with a mirror breaker, I suppose. But other than that, I don't know if you really want to be playing inscriptions. It's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, certainly an interesting take on their version of the deck, but I prefer my own, to be honest, and hopefully you guys do too. If you do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You can also do that if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below what you've been playing in Standard 2022, if you've been playing any other control decks as well. I know there's a black-white control deck in the format right now, and for those who've been on the channel long enough, you'd know that that's my favourite colour combo for control decks, because it's a counterless control list, and I always find them very interesting, so hopefully we will play a little bit of that in the future as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, take care guys, and have a wonderful evening.